Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you're all having an amazing day. We're starting off here. We've got the black pieces against a 1622 from Kazakhstan. So we've got a d4. I'm not sure if we've seen this yet with the new repertoire, but we are in fact playing d5 with hopes of a c4, e5, Albin counter gambit. Again, not sure if you've seen this on my channel before yet, but as per the recommendation of my coaching session, this is what we're now playing. And the whole point is after d takes e5. In fact, we have seen this one. I remember we have seen this one. It didn't go particularly well for us, I don't think. But we go ahead and play d4. Now, I must admit, I'm not the strongest in this yet. I'm still sort of learning the lines, but I know the general ideas, which is fine. So knight f3 is the main move, just hitting this pawn again, and we're just going to go knight c6. And look for this. I was also looking for this e-pawn as well. And the thing is, after we take this e-pawn, we're going after this c4 pawn. So this is a move we can do, bishop g5, hitting the queen. And at first glance it looks to be a bit annoying because we can't block there, and if we go there, or we go there, again, there's not much we can do to avoid the pin, because especially we want a castle kingside as well, so we don't want to be pushing these pawns all the way up the board. So how do we deal with this? We go ahead and play f6. And we just live with knight takes with the pin. And yeah, we play on from there with hopefully some semblance of an attack on white. We're black. A semblance of an attack on white. Amazing. So I'm sort of out of theory here. Potentially we've got a push, but although we want to sort of lock in their light square bishop if we can, try to avoid castling. I actually think bishop f5 here is good. Potentially looking for the knight to sort of hop in. And we'll just see where that goes. I think I played this in a standard game, and I think I played bishop g4. And it wasn't a fan, it preferred bishop f5, so we'll go ahead and try that out today. And maybe we'll, maybe now we could go for a d3 push. And just try to stop that king from castling. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be awkward either way with the fianchetto, so maybe we could go ahead and push some pieces. Push a h6 and try go for a kingside attack. Because now they've got no retreating square because of the g5 trap. So they're likely just going to take here or go bishop to f4, in which I might be happy to just go g5 as well. And then we've got two really strong bishops here, but they go ahead and take it. And we're still looking at this, and potentially we could castle kingside here. Not sure how thought out that is, but we'll definitely give it a go. We'll definitely give it a go. I definitely do need to look at this in more detail in the next couple of days, because I'm playing at a tournament this weekend. A nice little local congress, which I'm super looking forward to. But in the major section, it's going to be a tough one, so I need to have a good look at this before I play that, really. Maybe we've got like a bishop d6. The problem with this bishop is that with the c4 pawn, it's super easy to kick out if you got anywhere on these squares, because they've got some very fast pawn pushes. So what we do here, I'm not quite sure. Potentially we could push here and just try weaken them a bit, weaken their pawn structure. But I think an e3 is just sort of fine for them. Maybe we could castle, but again, these pawns are super fast. So a bishop d6 might not be the worst, or a pawn push, looking at this knight and then pushing h5, h4, because right now this knight's actually not doing anything at all. Actually, it's going to have to go. Yeah, that's quite nice actually, because this knight's sort of blocked in. So let's go ahead with that. We might as well attack at some point if we gambit in a pawn, you know. It's kind of the whole idea. But yeah, and then this knight has to go all the way back. potentially. Maybe we do a h5 first, and then look for push and then push, which might be slightly better. Yeah, let's go for a h5 first, and we definitely need to get our king safe. Where the king's going, I'm not sure if it's an f7 type of thing or a castles, but yeah, it's not particularly ideal at the minute. I think we'd probably bring the rook in now, or we could castle. We could commit to the long castle. Long castling would be very interesting, to say the least. It does two jobs at once, but we have to be very, very careful of this attack. Let's go for it. It looks sort of fun. It looks sort of fun. And we've got a good attack going here. I'm not complaining at all here. White definitely needs to be careful because I've got some very fast moves coming very quickly. The problem with this knight here as well, the bishop can no longer go there straight away because they are supporting the pawn push as well, which is a bit tricky. But yeah, I think once we play a g4 followed by h4, maybe even h3. The problem is we need to open up the king side. So after takes, we would probably do like a queen h6, and then this paired with the bishop is looking super strong on this h2 pawn. So that's sort of the plan at the minute. Now this just looks devastating. This looks absolutely devastating. Surely. G4 with a bishop h6 potentially. Or we just go... no, we would have to go G4 first. But then a queen G5 could be okay. Yeah, the problem is they can just take this straight away, which wouldn't be ideal. Maybe a bishop e7 could do the trick, although it's sort of blocking off our pieces a bit. Maybe a bishop h6 with the push move could be quite nice. Let's go with that one. It seems the obvious move in this situation. It seems the straightforward one, and we can always go back to g7 if we want to make room, or we could potentially go like to an f4 or an e3 if the time comes, you know. But obviously, it would involve something to do with these pawns moving out of the way, or we sack it, or something along those lines. Especially if we play a h4, and then let's take inwards. This is going to be devastating for them with the open file on the rook. That's going to be really, really scary. And I would not want to be white in this situation. But this is looking cool. This is looking really cool. Straight away, we're just threatening to win a piece, and they've got to deal with that now. That was the risk of threatening this pawn is that it's going to come with my own threats in return. And exactly, they run away hiding. They've gone. They've run away. Now this could potentially just trap the rook if they take. I'm not too keen on that, to be honest. I think now we play a h4, then a g4 rather than a g4 first. Because I don't want the knight coming here. So let's play a h4. h4 is lovely, I think, and this is just going to be, I think, a quick one either way. Either we lose or we crush them. You know, that's going to be the way it is. It's. I would say it's a 2-result game, and that still stands, I guess. But usually, when you say a 2-result game, it's a win or a draw. But this is either a win or a win, you know. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be some stupid moves coming, some fun moves. But yeah, it's looking forward to it. Looking forward. The great thing about if we play g4 as well, it stops any pawn pushes because we can always either take en passant or just take it as well. So this is just scary. Super scary. Yeah, and they go running. They go running. I don't think. I think we take this first. They would be silly to take it inwards, they would have to take out, and after a push, that's just devastating with that there, and then a queen on h6. I don't really care about this. So let's go ahead and take. Then we'll push. Potentially we even have a sort of rucksack here. If the knight goes to h4 as well after the bishop check. So knight there. So pawn takes, push, knight there, bishop check, king h1, rook takes, queen takes. Whew, I would be a bit scared. Although the queen does back it up actually, which is a shame. So we might have to rethink that a bit. Although we can take the knight, and then do queen takes, and that's just wow, beautiful, beautiful. If they go for the knight now, if they try to do that, we take the check, I believe. And then maybe like a h4 with a bishop there instead could work. I don't know. I'm not sure. This is a very sort of intuition vibe going on here. I'm not really calculating everything out. It just seems really nice for us. They're super underdeveloped, and we're just going all out on their king side. So I think a lot of things we can have a bit of leeway with, which is always going to be nice. And they take inwards actually, which is super interesting. Yeah, do we go for that? Do we go for that? Now this is interesting. This is super interesting. We could always do like a bishop g7, secure this pawn. Queen h6, but do they have time after that to sort of defend themselves? It's going to be tough because they've blocked themselves in double this way. So have we actually just got time to do that? Because we've always got a g4 push threatening the knight. I think potentially we could do that. You know, that seems pretty simple. I don't see how they really defend it. They would have to have two moves, at which point we're just looking super scary. So what would the two moves be? It would be a knight move first, back there, queen there, and then like a pawn there or something would give the king an escape square. Yes, would give the king an escape square. Yeah, that's a bit annoying. Yeah, that works out for the king, I believe. Maybe we go g4 then and just continue with the original plan. Problem is this bishop's sort of in our way now. We could go bishop f8, and then they don't have time to take this because of that. It's followed by a g5, and then we're also threatening bishop to b4, which is sort of scary. Maybe a bishop c4 with a pawn push could be nice, especially if they end up playing f3. So the problem is that if they decide to take now, that's a bit annoying. Well, I would just win the piece after that. I would just win the piece. Would I? Oh, we've got to be accurate here. We've got to be really accurate here because we are still actually down a pawn. So bishop to f8. They can't even go there actually. So bishop f8 would be followed by a knight there. Queen there. f3 would be good for them. Although potentially we have some f4 idea with a bishop takes and maybe a check that way. That could be nice. So the question is, do we play g4 or do we bring bishop back to f8? That's the real question, I think, at the minute. If we bring the bishop back to f8, then g4 comes with a bit of sting because we have takes knight after pawn takes, queen takes, and then like a bishop b4 with a rook h8 is super scary. If we play h4 first, the knight can come in there, which is annoying, I will say. But maybe after like a bishop e3, pawn takes, it would leave the knight and the rook attacking this. So we would have to... Or maybe we just play a d3. Maybe we just play a d3. It could work as well. Yeah. Let's go bishop f8. I think that's probably the smartest. Just opening up the rooks on this file. It stops them getting the counterplay, I think, which is important in this. And we can just go queen h6, can't we? Queen h6. What do? They can't move the knight. And then after that, we get the piece back. Oh, I'm not going to take this. We can even do like a rook d7 and then sack the queen on on h1. So after queen h6, what can they do? Maybe play like a g4, bishop takes, and the problem is we're threatening that. Knight, bishop takes knight. They have knight takes actually, with check. King there. Knight goes back, pawn takes. Queen there is fine, because then we go g4. No, the problem is after we play a g4, the knight can come there, and that's really annoying. Now we blocked ourselves off. Queen, knight check, king moves, check. Queen there. Hits the bishop. Bishop g4 is nice. Is really nice. Actually, they can't stop that. It would be a rook out. And then bishop takes. Pawn takes. Queen check. King there. Is just fine for us. Not fine for them, unfortunately. Oh gosh. We could also do a bishop h3 potentially. It would sacrifice the rook. But after takes, king takes. yeah, the problem is they've got rook h1 now. Should we go rook queen h6? It's probably the only logical move left. But they've got to find these checks to get the queen out. They could also just get the queen out as well, which is actually super annoying. That's actually really, really annoying. Gosh. Yeah, queen d2. Wow. Maybe we go for pawn takes then. Oh, that doesn't seem right either. Queen takes loses a lot of stuff. Or maybe we can go bishop h3. h3, queen out. Queen takes. Gosh, oh no. We've got no attack really. Maybe continue with the g4 then, and after knight there, rook takes, pawn takes, queen takes. For like a bishop there. No, because they're getting the rook then, and that's not good. We could do a rook d7. Or a pawn takes. Let's... I don't want to have to do that. I really don't want to have to do that. Are they going to find... queen there? After queen there, we could always just do... like a... No, it's not a very nice move to play. I got to make a move, though. I got to make a move. I really got to make a move. We could start off with a bishop there. After takes there. Let's... there. Queen there. Takes, take, queen there. Yeah, let's do that. I don't think that was the right call. I don't think that was the right call at all. I don't think that was the right call at all. But it was something. It was something. We used how many minutes there? 5.5 minutes on this move. And yeah, wow. I don't think this quite works out, which is so unfortunate because it's such a cool looking position. But yeah, it's just if I had like one more move, like if this bishop didn't come here to hit the queen, but I think it needed to hit the queen. Ooh, you know, it's just that little bit more would have done it. But I think they still need to play accuracy. What? I ran. What? 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 Oh, come on! What? I made that with tons of time left. Tons of time left. What? Yeah. What a shame. What a shame. What an absolute shame. I swear I made that move. Did I not make that move? It's got me second guessing myself. I don't know. We'll go through it anyway. To be fair, I think either my internet or the chess.com servers are acting up a bit. I actually struggled to find a game before I came in, so it's what can be done, you know. But yeah, interesting game at least. We'll go through it. We'll analyse it. So we did the right thing in the opening, yeah, and then f6 we've seen before. And then it wanted a h6 straight away, but we played bishop f5, which is still good. Then that, yeah, and we're in the right position. So if we played h6 straight away instead, what would have happened? Yeah, and then you sort of end up in a similar spot, I guess. Yeah, you still got the same ideas. And then you get the bishop to f5 anyway. So that's all good. I'm happy with that. Happy with that. Bishop g2, yeah. And then g5. It says we should castle here, but we castled here, which is perfect. So this is point 3 for white. So we get the attack, they're up a pawn. It sort of balances out. And after long castles, it is... So this knight move was a mistake, which we sort of thought it was. They need to deal with this. And then castles, it's point 6 for us. And then the bishop h6 was great, which I knew was great, but it was annoying that it had to happen, you know. And then h4, and this is after the knight there. This is 2.3 for us, so we're completely winning, sort of completely winning. That I know that doesn't make sense, but it actually wanted a h3, which is super interesting. Super interesting. I'm not sure. See, that to me looks like you've sort of given up on your attack. Once you play a h3, it looks like you've sort of given up on your attack. I don't know what the plan is, because your queen side's like weak, and this bishop's still in the game. Like, it's not dead. It's still on the diagonal. It's still an open diagonal. As soon as this knight moves, it's still fine. So I'm not sure quite what the point of h3 is there. But we played h takes, which brings it back to equality. And they actually should have taken with the f pawn, which is sort of what we said. But we thought this bishop check looked a bit scary. But we can have a look at that. And it's doing nothing we said, so never mind. And then bishop f6 was the miss. It wanted a bishop e4, which I didn't even consider doing at all. Didn't even consider it. And then knight takes. Yeah, we knew that was the best move. And then we got scammed out of a move, really. Wow. And what was it? B takes is apparently best. We went ahead with bishop g4, which apparently is completely losing for us anyway. So maybe we got saved from embarrassment instead. But yeah, I don't. Knight takes, queen takes. So it's not going ahead with the plan. What did we think? A queen there. qd2. And then queen takes there. What about a queen h6 now? Knight ce. That covers the other knight. Smart, and hits the bishop at the same time. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. Okay, so we were saved from embarrassment either way. And yeah, that's just disappointing, really. The internet connection let us down, but that's what you get for living in the middle of nowhere. We'll have a look at an opening because it's super interesting. Back to the beginning. Yeah, bishop check. Masters openings. Let's see a win for black in this position. Hello? You're gonna... Oh no. Has it crashed? Have a crashchess.com? There we go. Jaff C versus Frank Marshall, win for black. We can go have a look through that. Do I add game? Oh, there we go. So, yeah, takes, knight takes, and then knight there. That's sort of what I knew. So in the when you get to this position, there's a few moves they can do. BG2, BG3, sorry, or not even that. G3, sorry, is one. Knight there's the other, and then that's another good move as well. Is A3. So you'll see that a lot of the time in them anyway, and you see a combination of them as well. So it's not really a surprise. And they actually did the same thing as me with the bishop f5, queen takes. No, this is the game I played actually. Now that I think about it, where's the other one? Oh gosh. Where are we? Oh no, chess.com is just it's having a bit of a mare today. Or maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Come on, Masters database, save me. Yeah, Jaff C versus Frank Marshall. There we go. So they actually go E4 here, which is interesting. And now, see, obviously tempting to play en passant, but after queen takes, king takes, you lose a lot of your attack. Basically, you've not got a queen, and then the knight's pinned to your king now as well, which is scary. And you've got very little hope of actually getting this pawn back. So you're just down a pawn, really. So they go for bishop check instead, which is cool. They'll probably go knight G there, not G, B there. Castles is interesting as well. Not dealing with the pin at all with the H6. You go straight for the semi-open file, which we didn't even really do in our game. I think it's because we had trouble with this bishop. It went to H6 instead, the long way around. And we weakened our king side as well, so we didn't castle there. And now a queen B3, which is super scary. You've got the discovered attack on the king, and you're threatening the bishop if this knight ever moves. So how do they go ahead and deal with that? And they play an A5. No clue at all, to be honest. It looks like you're losing your retreating squares, but actually the retreat doesn't work anyway. So if you played something stupid, not stupid, somewhat like a H6, A3, and you go back, B4 there, and you're getting trapped anyway, so you're never going backwards, so you might as well push the A4. I'm guessing that's the logic. Oh wow, and they play an A4 themselves, hitting the queen instead of letting them take the bishop. Beautiful little move. And then they go ahead and take the knight. Now I'm guessing they want this pawn on the open file so they can hit the backwards pawn. This beautiful pawn's doing an amazing job. This knight's gone back to the second rank, which is always going to be good for black. And now they're threatening maybe to take this pawn. An A3 is super solid. Usually you're not meant to play F3, but I guess in this situation, because the queen's not on its starting square, there is no shenanigans, and black doesn't have their dark square bishop either, so you might as well make dark square weaknesses. The only problem is white's light squared bishop is now facing the consequences of the light squared pawn chain as well. So, and this right here is 0.8 for black, and then black's going to get their knight out. So it's hitting this, it's hitting this, it's pretending to sort of hit this if they can ever get another sort of attacker, maybe a rook, or if they get the bishop out, something like that, which is super interesting. And then they go for the c5. So this is going to be a pass pawn. It's entombed the light squared bishop in their own pawns, and this is just, who wouldn't want this for black, you know? Yes, you're a pawn down, but I mean, the knight is even trapped in its own pieces, which is super unusual as well. You never really see that, but that's just super nice. So they're going to castle with hopes of maybe pushing an f4, I'm guessing. And after f4, I'm guessing you've got now a knight g4, with maybe some threats, or you've got the fork as well, which is super nice. So they're never going to play f4 here. And now white's got time to black's got time to sort of make their attack. They're doubling up, they're getting the bishop there, and potentially even sacking on f3 themselves. Yeah, king h1's a super cool move. I really like that from white. Getting off the pin, and then potentially if they move their pieces over to try attack the new position of the king, then maybe you have like a g3 with an f4 themselves. Getting the knight in, which is cool to support h2, but then you're sort of blocking off your rook as well. And then white offers a queen trade with the freed up square from knight d2. They're going to have to... Now, I'm not sure what the point of going back to g1 was, but either way, it's still super scary. They've, like I said, they've made this backwards pawn on the open file, even if it was temporarily losing the pawn. They trade off the light square bishop for the knight, which is interesting. And this little counterattack on the queen apparently loses. Oh, just because you win this backwards pawn, trade off the bishop for the knight, so you can still do it tactically, and then you win your pawn back with these two nasty connected pass pawns. And instead of defending them, you go counterattack the rook, pin to the king. Super, super nice as well. And you just march on to victory from here. Yeah, wow, beautiful, beautiful game. I'm not sure how it continues. This is a resignation, I believe, for white. Oh, because after rook goes up, we can look at it actually. Oh no, we lost it. Try find it again. Yeah, there we go. So after the rook goes up, they have a pawn push, and it's doing two jobs. It's defending their rook and it's hitting their rook as well. So what can you do? The rook's pinned as well. So if they move, you just take the free rook, and if not, then you take their rook. So beautiful, beautiful game there. That was really cool. Some cool ideas. Obviously a bit disappointed in our game just because of the connection there. Even though the move was losing anyway, it would have been nice to play it out. But what can you do? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes there are other reasons why you lose your games. But yeah, what can you do? Head up, play the next one tomorrow, and try do better. We did good in the opening though, which is nice to hear. But I'm definitely gonna look at everything basically again before the weekend. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye bye.